Let's be honest, the FPS market right now is exhausting. You've got tactical shooters where you stare at a single corner for 3 minutes straight. You got battle royales where you loot for half an hour just to get sniped by someone who hasn't seen the sun since 2024. And then you have the finals. There's fundamentally nothing else like it on the market. It's chaotic, unique, and here's why you finally, get it, finally, need to stop ignoring it. Right off the bat, if you just want to turn your brain off and shoot things, then sure, there are casual modes like that for you in this game, like your usual team deathmatch or whatever. But the real core of this game, the reason why you have to play the finals, is because of its unique game mode, cash out. Unlike typical FPS games, you don't win by having the most kills. Nah, finals is too good for that. You win by having the most money. Hey yo, that's just like real life. The match spawns 4 teams of 3 and drops 2 vaults straight into the map. This creates a really nice, natural 2v2 dynamic at the start of the game, without having to worry about any annoying third partying. Don't worry, that comes later. You grab the vault, take it to a cash out station and defend it. But here's the catch. Did you know it's actually possible that you can still win the game without getting any kills? All you have to do is swoop in at the last second, do the heist of the century, steal the cash out, and bam, you've won. You get to go to the next round. This literally changes the game. It forces unique scenarios that you for real won't just see in any other game. And on to the gameplay. Not even that gunplay in this game is like any other FPS game. Here we have a rock paper scissors style system tied to 3 different classes. You have the light class, which basically has no HP but dumps out massive DPS and has insane movement. They have abilities like double dashes, invisibility, and grapple hooks. But if you play like your medium is your all-rounder, bringing pretty good utility like healing beams and a dematerializer gun, which literally just lets you make walls disappear. Very fun. Can use it to stall out the cash out or just get a jump on someone. Big brain gun. Heavy is your slow, high HP tank. Small brain. They get massive destruction tool. Very good, very good. Wow, strong. And heavies also have like these very useful shields, this dome shield and like this running shield like that guy from Overwatch. I wouldn't know though because I don't play garbage games. There are so many guns and gadgets here that pretty much any build is viable if you're smart enough to use it. There's so much different combinations you can run. And remember, you're in a team of 3, so you can either run a team of 3 lights and absolutely just run into the enemy head on and just, get slimed out because you're lights. Or the sweet spot is having 1 light, 1 medium, 1 heavy. And then the sweet spot with that build is that you always trash talk your light for dying when, he's just kind of bad at the game. But what actually makes this game top tier is the sandbox. The movement mechanics are already incredibly satisfying. Literally, I would put it up there next to Titanfall. You can throw a jump pad on a sloped roof, run and sprint into it, and then go flying. Like, the game carries momentum so nicely. As soon as you're about to hit the floor, you can hit some nice bunny hops to like keep carrying that momentum. Low key though, if you're playing as heavy, there's like no movement. So medium and light is fun to play as. Heavy, you're just there for the vibe. Combine the sweet movement and physics with the fact that literally every single building is destructible, and you just have a game that smokes any other game. You can literally just topple down a building if you can't get inside. Your heavy can just whip out an RPG and just blow the door open. Cash shots on the floor above? Why don't you just break the floor below? Oh, you want to get a new vantage point? Just shoot open that wall. Go do whatever you want. And this is what separates the finals from any other FPS game on the market right now. And that's player choice and freedom of expression. But pro tip here, I'm Silver 3, so I know what I'm talking about. You can pick up your friend's dead body and just launch it across the map. Because who cares? Who needs friends? I'm here to win the finals, buddy. You might lose some friends actually, but yeah. If anyone wants to play finals with me, let me know in the comments. And also subscribe please, because I'm lonely. Let's move on to the aesthetics. This game has a theme around being like a virtual game show, kind of like Squid Game if you think about it. You get all of these broke guys and you make them fight for money. But in this game, the visuals are literally insane. The game looks insane. I mean, to be fair, I haven't really been playing any recent games. Like, if you look at my channel, I've just been playing Resident Evil 4 a lot recently, which is a game that released in 2004, so 2005. So, and if you want to know more, you can go back and watch those videos. I think they're pretty good. Anyways, this game looks stunning, but it's also pretty well optimized. I'm running a GTX 1080, which is low-key kinda old, and I'm also running an i5 13400F. But on low settings, this game runs incredibly smooth. I'm getting like over 140 constant FPS the whole time. I think I have some AMD FSR settings on, or AMD frame gen, but the game is super smooth. On my 165Hz monitor, the game feels so nice. Again, even on low settings, this game is beautiful. I can't even lie to you. But let's stop glazing the game, because I'm not sponsored by them, but I am open to sponsorships. This game is far from perfect. First of all, the learning curve is pretty steep. I mean, it's a straight wall. Once it clicks, it's amazing, but if you go into this game trying to play it like Call of Duty or any other generic FPS, you are gonna get cooked. Second is that, remember that stealing mechanic I mentioned earlier? Yeah, well, if you're doing it to someone else, it feels like you're a mastermind genius and you're just better. You're just him. But when this happens to you, it's the most unfair feeling in the world. You can be going 10 kills, 0 deaths, have the best aim on the planet, and completely dominate a lobby, but some guy with 0 skill just at the last second taps that cash out box, and all your hard work goes out the window. And another nitpick with this game is that you can't really play it if you don't have friends. You absolutely need a 3-stack. If you solo queue, your teammates will just insta-pick light and they're just gonna run off. Playing with randoms, not fun. Now, here is a pretty major glaring issue in my opinion. If you want to play ranked in this game, then you're in for a pretty big headache. The UI is very terrible. Whoever designed this UI needs to get some homework, man. Just fire him immediately. These guys craft a beautiful FPS game that is nothing like anything else on the market, but they failed at the UI. Is it just me, or why do all modern game UIs just suck? And I made this video here about Genshin UI. Sure, I made it 3 years ago, but I think it's still pretty cool. Go watch it, please. But yeah, the game UI is so flippin' bad. It's so hard to even see where your rank is. I didn't know this until the other day, but I have like, what, over 100 hours on this game. And I only realized the other day that I can see my rank, not on the rank screen, but on a leaderboard screen. What the flip does that make sense? And if you want to check all the in-game ranks, you can't even check that. You have to go look online. It's so bad. But what bugs me is that they have a good UI for the store page. So unless you're giving the game money, they don't want to give you a good UI. I get it that the game's free to play. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this game's free to play. But yeah, it's just the UI is a headache. And also, in the ranked mode, instead of it just being 1 round cash out, it's more like a tournament based system. So there's 8 teams and it's a massive tournament. But after you win the first round, instead of keeping the momentum going like in Valorant, where you can play and move around between rounds and set up, and like there's not really a moment of silence, you're always in control. In the finals, you are instead forced to sit there for 2 minutes straight after the round ends because you're waiting for your friend with a potato PC to load it. And this completely drives any pacing and any momentum the game would have had into a brick wall. Because remember, the last 10 seconds of this game is super hectic. You got people doing last second steals, you got the heavy blowing up the building, got so many explosions, and then bam, round's done. You gotta just sit there at the loading screen and rethink your life decisions. But low-key during the loading screen, I just watch reels, so I might be cooked. And to make things worse, there is a pretty blatant history of cheers. In every other ranked game, I always see someone getting kicked out of the lobby because it says XYZ has been removed for cheating or blah blah blah. And the sheer amount of sensory overload and audio clutter makes it pretty much clear this game is not going to be part of the big 3 of like competitive games, because there's just too much variables. You can't control the variables. There's no real like, I don't know, there's too many things in this game for chance. It's not like Valorant or CSGO where the only thing you have, the only like determining factor is either your game sense or your aim. In this game, you can't predict what's going to happen. It doesn't have that same skill ceiling as those other games, because in those other games, if you have the best aim, bam, you get like immortal or you get top rank. In this game, you can have the best aim and you'll be placed silver 3. I'm not coping, by the way, guys. I'm not coping. But another issue with this game is that the players are pretty scared that it's going to be left behind by the developers. And this is because Arc Raiders just came out and everyone is playing that game. And guess what? It's made by the same developers. But I haven't played Arc Raiders because that game costs money and I'm poor, so please subscribe. But at the end of the day, if you've even stayed this long, let's answer the main question. Is the finals worth your time. 100% it is. It's chaotic, it's messy, and it will make you pull out your hair, but there's nothing else like it on the market right now. And I would highly suggest you check this game out and give it a chance. That's all. Goodbye.